meeting to a pair of resolutions regarding the war in Israel, and that led to some heated discussion. 13 News reporter Bud Foster is live at the county complex with the latest. And Bud, this is an emotional issue, and there was also a debate on the way one of the resolutions was introduced.
Well, yeah, there were some procedural issues, but they got those quickly taken care of and went on with the vote. Now, it's not unusual for Pima County to pass resolutions. They do it very, very often, but it's usually on something that's very close to home, something can have an impact or an effect on. In this case, that is certainly not the situation, certainly not the case. So one must wonder why they did it in the first place.
Pima County resolution in support of standing with Israel as it defends itself against the barbaric war launched by Hamas and other terrorists.
Christie read his entire resolution into the record before the vote, where he mentioned the ties between Iran and Hamas, bringing it into the conflict.
Iran has historically provided up to $100 million annually in combined support to Palestinian terrorist groups, including Hamas.
A second resolution was introduced by District 2 Supervisor Matt Hines, who also read his entire resolution into the record. The titles of the two resolutions show the different directions.
Pima County resolution in support of peace in the Middle East.
The two competing resolutions differed in tone and specifics, even though both were heavily critical of the Hamas actions. Hines went further in calling for peace in the region.
Affirms the desire of the majority of people of Israel and the majority of people of the Palestinian territories to live in peace and to pass down a better world to their children.
The board was split on the two resolutions, 2 in favor of Christie's, 2 in support of Hines. The critical tiebreaker from District 1 Supervisor Rex Scott.
But when I took a look at the two resolutions that were authored by my two colleagues, I thought that the one authored by Supervisor Christie backed up the statements that have been made by President Biden stating support for Israel and opposition to terrorism. So that's why I'm in support of this resolution.
Scott added the president's interview on 60 Minutes last week, where he urged Israel to do all it can to avoid civilian deaths and to follow the rules of war, negated the need for Hines to add his stipulations. Even when the chair sought to add some additional language, it was shot down.
So the resolution was passed, and it'll have absolutely no effect on anything that goes on in Israel or in Gaza. But it certainly points out just how politically split the Board of Supervisors is, and some people say that was likely the intent of this resolution today. At the county complex downtown, I'm Bud Foster, 13 News.
All right, Bud, thank you. If voters in Vail approve incorporation